would honestly say I would, because of the atmosphere, actually, maybe Forest Temple and Ocarina of Time. I really like the music.
Forest Temple's really good.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Yeah.
And I agree, like it's totally atmospheric.
The atmosphere.
It kind of drags you in, you know, like you
For
feel
sure.
like you're a part of that.
Yeah.
We also have at It's Drev. How did you feel when Door Clip was discovered? Ooh, that's a good thing to explain too.
Door Clip, yeah. So in the new 90% route, actually, even though it was just ran half a year ago, it's completely different once again.
Of course.
Yeah, so now the speedrun is actually a little under an hour finally. So there's a trick where you want to go to Forsaken Fortress 2, which is the middle point of the game, basically. If you don't know the game's order, like, by heart. You can get there early by clipping through a door. And that was known to be basically task only because it required so many precision, like information that a runner can't know, like, you know, XYZ positioning, speed values, and stuff that you can't know in a speedrun, right? But we finally found a more consistent method for it that has about an 80% chance of likelihood of working because you only need one variable now, which is much more consistent as a human being to actually perform. So in the beginning it was definitely rough, but now it's actually fun to run 90% again because of the discovery of that. So I would definitely say it's a good thing for the community.
Now you're mentioning any percent of that. Is this something we're going to see in your 100% run, or is it not a trick we're going to see?
No, sadly not. The only purpose of it is if you don't have the Master Sword or the Skullhammer, which we'll both have to get. So
we also have from Frost Monolith. Man, I am killing it today. Is it possible to complete the game without jumping?
Without jumping? I'm gonna say no, just because the last power would actually make that impossible. Right. I would say so. I'm gonna say no. And unless, like, I guess side hopping probably, but that's kind of cheating because it's still kind of hopping. So I'm gonna go with a no on that one.
Let's get a couple more questions and we'll talk about some juicy prizes. So we got Jay Nashty. Is Toon Link your main in Smash Ultimate?
You know, it's rough. I actually been playing a lot of Toon Link, even though I feel like he's not the best at Link, sadly. But yeah, I would say Toon Link, Fox, and actually I like heavy characters, or Ridley. Really been enjoying that character. So that would be my main, I would say.
I've been using Marth a lot because I'm lame like that. I like the swords. I like the
Simon is really good. Have you tried Simon?
I have not.
Oh, really? His whip has really good range.
We do have a Smash room here, so
yeah,
I'll try that out at some point in time. So, last question from Dragon Neo. What part of the run was the easiest for you to learn?
Easiest for me to learn? I would actually say is honestly collecting an endgame. Even though there are some super swims, it's still pretty straightforward to go to dungeon, or sorry, to go from island to island. So then you kind of just have to learn what you have to do in each individual island. So then it's pretty easy to memorize that. So I would say memorizing that is probably one of the easy parts of the run for sure.
All right, now let's get to some prizes, huh? And just like the last interview I had with you last year, I think you hold stuff. Because we don't have sense, I'm kind of getting the training wheels taken off here.
Yeah, really so for this time.
So right here, we actually have a bunch of Celeste Pearlers. So we got a bunch of the hearts here, and we got the cassette tape. Now, I'm holding it upside down because I'm really good at this. But yeah, we got beautiful Pearlers here. It's just a $5 minimum donation, and it's open until the end of the Wind Waker run. I cannot speak.
It's fine. We're two.
This is an awful time for me. We also have, right behind me, you can see that we have a Celeste vinyl from Ship to Shore. Now, once again, this is $15 minimum donation, and it's until the end of the Wind Waker run. We also have a scarf that my head's probably in the way of. Let me see if I can grab this here. I'm not going to take it off because I'll probably ruin everything, but it's a really soft scarf. I'm impressed with this. $10 minimum donation for that. Once again, end of Wind Waker HD. We also have this super duper heavy book that is super duper heavy. I can't get over how heavy it is. It is The Legend of the Hero. Now, this is something that's I'm going to read the back for you, that way I don't mess this up. It's a compendium of natural history. You get a guide to over 80 common indigenous beings and a bunch of other crap that's going to take forever to explain. This is a $5 minimum donation. Once again, Wind Waker. And one last thing before I let everyone go. This beautiful, beautiful, Dangerous to Go Alone.
Beautiful painting. Holy crap. You should see that IRL.
You're the Zelda runner. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. $10 minimum donation. So let's get those donations going.
It's hard to hold so.
But anyway, this has been Keezeron and Linkus. We're just dropping stuff, and we're going to give it over to someone that can actually do something better than us. So take it away.
Take it away.
Thank you so much, Keys, for your interview. interesting. It's okay if you have to jump a couple times. You're fine. I got a $125 donation from Edward Malice that says, the Cuphead all S&P grades run has blown me away. We also had a $103 donation from Salmon Buffalo that says, by my count, I had 13 retries, so as promised, here is $10 for each one. Well done, TMR, on another absolutely insane run. $50 from Crosschop 114148 that says, super hype for Celeste. I can't wait to see screens I spent half an hour on to be absolutely destroyed. My donation goes to TaskBot playing Super Scribblenauts. TaskBot is best bot. I agree. Thank you, Alex46, for your $50 donation that says, here's to beating heart tricks and cancer. All right. We also have one donation of $1,000 from the Celeste team that says, good luck, Tej, on the run, and thank you, Gigi Coop, for another amazing event. So I think we are ready to see some Celeste. Is everyone ready? All right, take it away, Tej.
Okay, so you guys can hear me now, I'm guessing. What's up? I'm TGH. This is going to be Celeste, all chapters. Let me introduce my couch, or they can introduce themselves if they like.
I'm Dave Stereo.
I'm Ben Teasy.
I'm Punchy.
All right, so some of you guys may have seen the SGDQ race between myself and Yoshi Pro last SGDQ. Stuff has changed since then, for sure. Lots of little optimizations, lots of new tricks. The community for this game is insane, just like working, labbing really hard on stuff, and just it's been unbelievable to watch this speedrun develop, and hopefully this will be a good showcase of that. So can we get the winner of the file name incentive? I think I know what won, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah, so the file name is going to be Charlotte.
Okay.
So CHARLOTTE.
Does that have any particular significance to you, Tej, or?
Not to me, no.
Interesting.
This is correct though? Okay.
Yep, that is
All right,
correct.
Awesome.
I'll have to ask
Okay.
him about that later.
So I guess I'll go over the basic gist of the category first and foremost before I begin. So this is all chapters, which means we're going to be doing the A, B, and C sides of each chapter. Every A side has a B side and C side to go along with it. The B sides are significantly harder than the A sides, but the same length, and the C sides are just kind of like insane difficulty, but a lot shorter, 3 screens each. So we'll be going into each A side, getting the heart and the cassette. We'll explain more about that later, and then we'll be doing the B side and then moving on. And then we'll do the C sides after all that. I won't be talking much during this run. I'll try my best to chip in every now and again, but my couch is going to take care of commentary. It's kind of hard to speak and play at the same time. So, all right, let's get hype, and we'll count down. Count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Video games.
Alright, for those of you that have not played Celeste, Celeste is a precision platformer. It has 3 main buttons. You saw the first one there, that's climb. Tej is using the other one, jump, right now. And the last one he'll get here at the end of this prologue is the dash button. Everything you see Tej do in this run is a combination of those 3 buttons. So it might sound very simple at first, but it's one of those simple to learn, difficult to master type of games. So you're going to see a lot of fast flying action really early on into this run.
And we didn't die during prologue, so that's good. Good start.
For sure.
Good start.
Their first run, and I donate all the money I'm currently carrying, which is all the money I brought, by the way. Please don't.
So the main mechanic we're going to see here is the hyperdash and many variations of it. Hyperdash is basically crouching and pressing dash and jump at the same time. Tej is going to leave the ground at a later point in his dash to actually preserve the dash, because Madeline only gets 1 dash per time that she's in the air. So he's here. You can see that he dashes and then he jumps at the end of the dash to preserve the dash. And Chapter 1 is actually pretty technical. It's one of the most optimized levels in the game. It's very short, so a lot of people like to practice it as an individual level, and they've pushed the strats pretty far. So right here on this screen, you're going to see TJ's going to do an extended dash here to reach the top of the transition, and the transition actually gives him his dash back. He missed the grab there at the end, but he was trying to reach this top platform because this is where the first heart is located. You need the hearts to open Chapter 8A, Chapter 8B, and Chapter 8C. So you actually have to collect all the hearts to be able to complete all chapters.
Nice little optimization there. He actually retried after activating the cheat code, or not the cheat code, the heart code, and that allows him to skip the animation of the heart spawning, and he can just retry and the heart's already there. I was gonna say, that's a puzzle where you need to input a specific sequence of dashes. He did not cheat code.
Yeah, he just
cheating.
he has that specific sequence of dashes memorized, so it's pretty easy to just do them as soon as he entered the screen, because that's you can enter them as soon as you get in the screen, as long as you're far enough left to activate the cutscene with the last dash.
Another piece of movement tech you guys are seeing is he is dashing vertically into walls, and it gives him a wall bounce and gives him extra height and speed.
And then this is the cassette. You need the cassette to unlock the B-sides for each level. So to unlock 1B, you need the 1A cassette. He's going to return to map because it actually saves a substantial amount of time IGT. The normal speedrun for this game goes off of IGT on the leaderboards. So most of the strats Teach is going to be using are in-game time strats. So that save seconds, because the clock actually stops when you're on the level select screen. So that's why you're going to see him like retrying and save and quitting and returning to the map in the middle of the levels.
On this next screen here, Teach is going to be going for a lineup here that allows him to wall bounce, or that allows him to wall jump off of these spikes here. Boing. Just like that. You don't need to do the whole live this room, just go up the left side. No biggie. No problem. Clear.
And that's Chapter 1. So Teach is going to jump right into 1B here. You can actually do the B-sides immediately after doing the A-sides, but the C-sides don't unlock until you beat 8B. So he's going to do 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, and then after 8B, he's going to go back and do all the C-sides. So look forward to that at the end of the run. The B-sides, like Teach said, are a lot harder. There's much less floor in the B-side. There's literally nothing under him, and most of the time, he's just jumping around from spike wall to spike wall, and yeah, this is, the B-sides are definitely a treat. This next screen here is a screen where you see the first like real spike jump here, and he's actually jumping off of that little corner between the spikes. That's a really precise trick, and he's gonna do another one right here.
This one's hard.
Yeah, this one's a little bit harder. There we go.
And there's
Hey.
Hey, we're just gonna die in easy places now. It's fine.
It's fine. People play through this game and they die like hundreds, if not thousands of times, and this guy is like, nah, I die once. I'm mad.
Tej knows a couple of his fans are donating per death, so he's actually doing it for charity. In case you guys were curious.
Exactly.
Guess on the other side of that, but with a nice, precise dash.
Check
Here's
out
the
this.
full
Check out
shot
this
right
screen right here.
Wait, yo. So what he actually did there, it's called a reverse hyperdash, or technically a reversed extended hyperdash. And you dash into one direction, and then you fly the other way. It's like a pivot cancel, if you play Smash Brothers, which a lot of you probably do.
And then this next screen here, he's going to do an extended off of this very small block to actually skip this entire section entirely. The nice thing about Celeste is that every screen transition is pretty much a checkpoint, so if you die, you don't really go that far back. So the deaths, while they may be punishing, like, if you're trying to PB, they're pretty marathon safe because you start right there.
And again, whenever we say extended, we mean that he is retaining the dash after performing the dash move.
Nice.
And at the end of every single B-side, you have these, like, these rooms? I don't know what to call them. Cassette rooms?
Just that
Question
rooms,
mark?
yeah.
And the beats of the platform cycles when they flash between blue and purple, they are synced to the beat of the music, which we did not get to hear much of because he did it in like 2 seconds. Fun fact, you can actually die after collecting the heart. Yeah, done that.
Yep, that's fun. That's
Thanks.
very fun to do.
Try not to do that this run.
I'll try. Thank you.
No,
Thank
please do. It's really fun.
So here we got 2A. 2A, the heart is actually hidden in the very beginning of the level. You're not supposed to know playing the game casually that screen transitions replenish your dash. It's like a little bit of a puzzle to figure out, but Teach actually kind of figured that out like 9 months ago. So he's gonna just go right up here and collect this heart. And again, he's gonna do a IGT trick to save a little bit of time on the timer.
I really like the sound effect that plays when a heart race. It's majestic.
So there's actually a combination of controller buttons you can hold and press to immediately restart a chapter, which is good, and it saves time there.
Something we didn't really talk about much here. We did mention that the transitions replenish your dash, but we didn't tell you that they also retain your momentum. So you'll see Teach usually hyper dashes into the transitions to kind of just keep flying at the speed of sound.
Yep. So right there, what I did was I actually dashed a couple times. That actually saves time. IGT, another IGT trick. So everything else in the game, your dash actually freezes the entire game for about 3 frames every time you dash. So in those rooms, since the blocks are actually tied to the music as far as timing goes, so everything else in the game freezes except for those blocks. So it actually saves about 3 frames every time you do it on the IGT, because the IGT freezes as well.
That's clever. I did not think of that.
It's like one of the few things I've actually found for this game.
He just uses everyone else's strats. Cheeky guy. So
Pretty much.
This is the Badline chase. Badline mirrors you by about 3 seconds behind, I think.
Yep,
Is it?
3.
Yes. And obviously, she touches you, you die. These rooms, you have to activate all these coins in order to move the block that blocks the exit. You'll be seeing many of those rooms throughout the run. Not all of them strictly require you to hit all the coins to get out, though. That is correct. Supposed to, but we have ways. Beating that cycle beats the Badline into the hole. That's tight. That's very tight. Also, some things about these dream blocks. When you pass through them, you get your dash back. You can also jump out of the dream blocks. And believe it or not, you can actually also hyper dash out of the dream blocks.
Yeah, we don't do that too much in this chapter. That's more for 2B. 2B, actually, no, I'm sorry, 7A we do that, not 2B. 2B we double jump a lot, but 7A is where we hyper a lot.
There's a little grace period when coming out of the blocks that counts as a platform, and that lets you do fun things.
So this is actually one of the tightest sections in the game here. There's no real risk of dying, but the movement has become so optimized because there's actually a little trick to Madeline's movement that when you dash down forward, it's not fixed speed the way her normal dash is. She actually continues to accelerate. So by combining bunny hops, which we didn't really talk about much, but they actually accelerate Madeline a little bit. By combining bunny hops and down forward dashes, you actually can get really, really fast. And
technically, it stacks with like no upper limit whatsoever.
Mhm.
It's just limited by your ability to chain it, which is really hard.
Yep, as far as we know, there is no actual speed cap in this game, and we're going to showcase that a little bit later. The speed that you can obtain in this game gets pretty absurd.
Look forward to it. So one thing T just gonna showcase for us here in 2B, you remember that I said that you can jump out of the dream blocks, but one thing you could do, if you have 2 jump buttons, you can actually double jump out of the dream blocks, which gives you more height and more speed.
yeah, so he's going to go a lot further than the game expects him to with a lot more momentum because he's actually inputting a jump input right before exiting the block and then one after exiting the block.
It's like almost too much power at times. You like overshoot where you're going.
And then Battleline is back into, but you'll see that the B-sides tend to mirror the mechanics from the A-sides. They just try to put like more hazards or obstacles in your way.
No biggie. It happens. It's a hard game.
This next screen actually has a really cool skip involving the double jump. Usually you have to fall down after dashing over these spikes to replenish your dash on the crystal, but
I'm not going to showcase it because I missed it. But that's fine.
it's okay. That's the commentator's curse right there.
Get from that little gap.
That one's pretty cool though.
That's such a 6 strat. You can just barely land on that without touching the spikes to replenish your dash without having to go around the left side.
Alright, so here in this next screen, I'm going to try a corner boost to skip these coins. See how well this goes.
Really now? Ooh!
Oh, my God. That jump is like almost as hard as the corner boost.
Guess that little coin.
There we go.
Yes! That's a good one. So have we talked about corner boosting yet?
I don't believe so.
No.
So corner boost is when Madeline grabs the top corner of a block, I believe it's 3 pixel window. She has 3 frames where she could jump, and she actually like accelerates like crazy, like past the corner, as opposed to getting stuck on the corner. So the runners use that to their advantage to, just go fast because they're speedrunners.
Yeah, that mechanic I don't think always existed in the game when it first came out. I think it got added as sort of like a byproduct of a different bug fix, but the devs were like,
This one's
cool,
cool.
we'll keep it. Which is like very reflective of their general attitude towards speedrunning, which I appreciate.
Yeah, quick shout outs to Matt and the whole team at Mamix Games. They are incredibly helpful with the speedrun stuff.
They
Also,
really
I
are.
love
They
your
really-
game. It's a good
That's
game.
2B.
That room can be a nightmare casually, but it's just 2 quick wall bounces in the speedrun.
202.
That's pretty fast.
So B-sides are actually, like, on average, shorter than their A-sides in a run, but they're much harder.
All right, so we have 3A now, which is very cycle-based. As soon as you'll see this, you'll figure that out pretty quickly.
There's the first big like difficulty spike for players when they first try out the game. It gets a lot darker, a lot dingier, and these dust bunnies is what we call the little cycling monsters. They do not play nice.
3 is also pretty long.
Yeah.
He brings a tight cycle climbing straight in here. He'll duck straight under that dust ball, goes through, collects the berry as well in passing. We don't need the berry, we don't want the berry, it's just kind of in the way of the optimal strats. And there, berry. We take those.
Whoops. Okay.
Okay, so this is an important concept as well. He died there, but when he respawned, the moving dust things are on like a different cycle. Because when you die, there's like a little animation of you popping back into life and what have you, and that puts things on a slightly different timing. We call that a death cycle, which means runners need to know like a normal cycle when they first enter, and a death cycle. It's like, wow, do you really have to memorize 2 different timings for every single room in case you make a mistake?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, you did. Thanks for asking.
So you are gonna see some like little hazards here on the wall. Whenever Teach touches them, they make basically a death wall after he leaves. But in some of these rooms, Teach is gonna go so fast that he's actually able to like utilize the floor again even after leaving it because he moves faster than the enemies actually spawn. So it's pretty impressive. So here we see Oshiro for the second time. You might have missed him the first time. Teach likes to skip cutscenes really quickly. It's part of the whole speedrunning thing. But
Skipping cutscenes in my speedrun.
Oshiro basically has a really big mess of boxes, books, and towels cluttering up this hotel, and we can't really get through. So we're gonna go around here in each section and basically help clean up the hotel so that we can get out of here.
So there's 3 separate pathways that you can take in this section, and as you can see, there's box platforms, towel platforms, and the books. And depending on which one you go to first, it will remove that type from the subsequent rooms. So depending on which rooms you enter first, you will have different challenges in the further rooms.
Yeah, so it's really geniusly designed, this huge mess kind of section.
So the routing has also been like designed as well to take advantage of the various platforms that appear or don't appear depending on what order you do it in. As well as where Oshiro spawns in the big room after each one, because that's like fixed order, I think. And also, this section is just going to be a bunch of platforming while Tija cleans up the huge mess, so this might be a good time for donations if you have any.
Sure thing. Actually, I just want to let you know that we have hit 800,000 right now, so give it up for that. Don't stop. Keep those donations coming. We have a $50 donation from Amber Cyprin that says, hey y'all, Amber here. I didn't get to donate during the Sonic Block this year due to work, but I had to donate during Tija's Celeste run. It's a wonderful game that I finally got to experience as a Christmas gift, and the story truly resonated with me as I have been struggling a lot with anxiety and depression. Sending all the love and luck in the world to you on behalf of the International Isometric Salt Mine family, Teach.
Thanks, Amber.
Thank you so much for this Christmas gift and for being one of the best friends I could ever ask for. Put this donation towards making the file name in Klonoa, Georgia Fenamile. Wahoo! P.S. Pookie Duck. And then we also have a $250 donation from Nintendo Caprice on 42 that says, do it again, Teach. You the man.
Thanks, that's a yes.
Alright, so now we're entering the next segment of the hotel here. This is the elevator shaft. This section can be a little tricky, but because the screens are so much longer, the deaths can actually be pretty punishing. But hopefully, Tejas got this under control here.
Hopefully.
And yep, there it is. Nice.
Nice to know you have faith in me, Ben.
As if you could doubt it. Come on. Time
Alright,
for
so
the
this
hyper
screen's
dash
pretty
room.
cool.
Just slips under that every single time and has the timing such to always beat the cycle. Gets in there before that platform comes back.
But Chapter 3 is nice because it actually like throws the heart and the cassette in your face. So it's like another little design choice that Matt made where like it shows you that these things are available in the game and that you can go out there and find them. So it's just a nice little like thing I wanted to point out there about the game.
I played through the whole game without ever noticing the hearts on the screen. I'm that guy.
Okay, so you might have remembered Battleline, you might have remembered Oshiro. They had a little argument, and now Oshiro's taking it out on us.
Yeah, we're leaving a bad review for Oshiro on Yelp. He's chasing us across the Rufus Hotel. Shout out to Duke Fiber. That's not an original joke, by the way. I had to give him credit for that.
Teach will be able to gauge where Oshira's flying by the lightning bolt that precedes his flying across the screen. Jumps over the spring. Doesn't want to hit that first one because it will stall his momentum. He wants to get slightly over it. To beat the faster cycle.
The last screen is pretty cool here if I can manage to get the cycle correct.
This is a good one. But it's very tight. Not so good. Looking solid.
Nice.
There's the one.
That is not even. That is not even slightly an easy screen.
Man, look at esports over here.
All right, so we're moving on to 3B, which is more or less the same. Everything you hate about Chapter 3, except more of it.
Way harder.
It's just something you gotta get used to. Like, once you get used to, like, these chapters are so hard casually, but the speedrun strats really actually make them a lot easier.
Also, this song, though.
Yes.
It's so good.
It's very good.
So, you guys thought I was kidding about the no floor thing in B-sides.
Nope.
But, I'm really not.
Nope.
You can
You see a flaw? I don't.
It's literally only the transitions that have
Under here?
floor. Nice. So this is another spike jump like the ones from 1B, and
Too early.
A little early. See, it's that cycle stuff again. See, now he's on the death cycle, so he needs a different timing. Does he know the different timing? Of course he knows the different timing. Why do I ask that question?
so that the trick Tej did where he went under the wall, it's basically Madeline can actually jump off of walls even if she's coming from behind the wall. She doesn't have to be actually moving towards the wall to jump off of it, and you're going to see Tej make use of that a couple of times throughout the run.
It's another one of those quirks that this game's really lenient, like, buffer jumping system. So, like, I describe Celeste as the hardest game that anyone can beat.
That's a really good way to put it.
Because it is definitely hard. Like, you seeing this? It's hard.
Yeah. This next screen right here is really, really cool. Tej is just gonna bunny hop off of that and keep his momentum, and yeah, just skip all of that. I didn't need it. Any of those platforms.
Nice and easy. Cool. Barely lands on that one.
It can be hard sometimes to be as patient as you need to be with a lot of these strats, which I'm demonstrating pretty well here.
No ball.
Cycles. Good music, and that's 3B in a nutshell.
Shouts out Lana Rain.
For real though, excellent soundtrack.
Lana Rain is the composer of this game's soundtrack, for this one claim.
For real though, like I pretty much like I sort of gravitate towards speedruns and games that have great music, and this is definitely one of them.
I think everyone does. Like, name a good speed game with bad music. You can't do it. It's impossible. Seriously, try. If you can, tweet it at me. I cannot get one.
Our friend Oshiro is back here.
All right, so we're gonna try and use Oshiro here. There we go.
Nice.
You bonking, you get your dash back. That doesn't come up a whole lot in the A side.
Yeah, most interactable things in this game, you'll find that when you touch them, you actually get your dash back. So it's good to. It's not obvious when you play through it casually. You feel like you have to just avoid every bubble and Oshiro and everything, but
Okay, so coming up here, I'm gonna do something called a demo dash. I'm gonna let my couch explain it after I do it. So it's gonna look like I'm dashing straight into this wall here. Whoops, I should probably hit the dash button.
Tends to help.
All right, this might take me a few tries.
It's a little tricky.
I didn't have a dash.
Wait for it. Really worth it, I assure you.
There we
There
go.
you go. Great through.
Okay, so essentially what that is that's a crouch dash, crouching dash. So if you hold down, or if you press down while you dash and then let go, Madeline will not dash down. She'll dash in the direction she's facing, or whatever direction you decide to hold as soon as she actually starts to dash. And what that does is it makes your hitbox exactly 4 pixels tall, and it just so happens that each wall of dust bunnies or spikes in the game is made up of like these round-shaped hitboxes that are exactly 4 pixels apart. So that's pixel perfect. Crouching dash, and it's pretty cool.
Chapter 4 brings us, or introduces us to green bubbles, as well as clouds and wind.
everybody's favorite mechanic.
Ducks onto that first wall, he don't need that bubble. Yeah, every single time he gets in a bubble as well, he's hitting the dash button immediately, because normally when you enter a bubble, there's a certain buffer period before it lets you move, but pressing dash just lets you move straight away. So you press lots of buttons. Like this. You could go over and around, or you could just jump straight through the road, like the hole he came into. That works too.
All right, I'm gonna try a cycle skip here on the tape once I get to the screen.
Ducks onto those. those. Ooh, makes
Got it.
Yeah. Nice.
I promised you guys that you guys should look up the cassette room music. Lena has it online. It's really good music, even though Teach won't let you hear it. It's just going too fast.
There's also a really cool strat for the heart coming up here. So there's a really cool homage to Super Mario Brothers 3. This white block here, you're supposed to use this white block, crouch on it, but we're just gonna do, nope, not that.
This really cool homage we're going to completely ignore by
Yeah.
doing a nice corner jump like this.
It's a little precise.
It's very hard. I got this once. Oh,
There we go.
there you go.
All right, we're gonna save and quit, which is skip the text for the heart.
So yeah, that was another one of those corner jumps, like when you're coming past the wall. Teach jumped off the wall as he was going past it to
You're
get
supposed
to
to
the heart.
use these moving platforms to like progress across the level, or you could just launch off them.
Oops. This is a cool strat right here. If I can get on the cloud,
Yes.
there we go. This is a cool strat right here.
So this is remember those down right dashes we were talking about?
Straight across.
Teach is gonna start really showing off ultra dashes as the run progresses. Another corner boost.
Dash straight down into the floor there to set himself up for a nice bunny hop. Skips the first bubble, skips the second bubble. We don't need bubbles.
Skips
Okay,
the
we need this
platform.
Who needs bubbles?
Okay, this is a nice tight bunny hop to skip that block over there. That one's really difficult.
Yeah, he has to do pretty much the minimum jump height. It's convenient
The
that
most
checkpoint.
generous
I'm just
respawn
gonna,
point.
this round's gonna just be full of me doing the most difficult stuff and then dying immediately afterwards. Yeah, no, this is Celeste in a nutshell. This is me in a nutshell, rather.
Goes for the extreme risk, dancing near the spikes to save like what, a second? So let's
A
play
little
it.
bit. Get up there, thank you. I'm gonna wait.
Hey, you gotta beat a wind cycle to the bubble there.
Okay, so this next section is called Cliff Face. It's actually one of the cooler sections of Chapter 4, I think, because the wind actually gets really fierce. It's important to note, though, that while he's dashing or hyper dashing, that the wind actually doesn't affect Madeline. So he's trying to use as many dashes to keep himself from getting pushed back. But you'll see every time, like, he even takes a step on the floor, that she's just battling against the wind. She does not... Well, I mean, Teach apparently doesn't want to touch the floor to show you guys, but believe me, it's true.
Touching the floor? Nice reverse jump off of that. Yeah, T bounces off. You can actually use the green bubbles to set up a reverse hyper dash.
They're blue.
They're blue,
Turquoise.
teal, aquamarine.
In Chapter 4...
We'll go with turquoise.
Okay.
That.
I excuse myself from color judgment entirely.
So the beginning of Chapter 4B has a couple of auto-scrollers before we get to the more interesting screens, so that we may have time for like 1 or 2 donations.
All right, we have a $1,000 donation from Libnit. It says, Teach is one of the most talented runners in our community, and I had to donate during the Celeste run. Thank you so much for that donation.
I'm gonna try that again.
Take it.
There we go.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Sneaks under.
You have time for one more.
no problem. We have a $5 donation from the Celeste Tutorial Bird that says, I keep telling Celeste how to do stuff like the up dash, but by the time I'm done, Alan's 3 screens away. Sorry, Bird. Maybe another time.
I was just expecting caw. By the way, best B-side music right here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll cop to that.
I'm not agreeing, but
I think I'm with Ben on this one. I'm sorry. So one thing you saw Teach do there, he grabbed the side of the stone platform, which allowed him to wave dash off the top of it. If he had started off by hitting the top of the stone platform, when he jumped, it would have disappeared right after that.
so these rooms are a little bit of stamina puzzles. We don't really talk about stamina much in the speedrun because there's actually ways to get around the stamina issues in the game. But yeah, it's a little tough casually, especially to get up these rooms because you run out of stamina when you climb. But Teach is used to them, so
You can only climb so far before the game's like, no, stop. To prevent you from like scaling walls infinite like the Spider-Man.
This
Going
is-
under here.
nice.
There we go. Skip that bubble.
much how you can set up reverse hyper dashes with the bubbles, you can also set up wall bounces with the bubbles.
A nice little skip coming up here too. And there we go.
Another good one. Bounces off that, sets it up for the bunny hop, skips the third block below. He don't need it. We only need 2. Why get a third?
Yeah.
Shout outs to the lower block coming in right now. There we go.
That lower block is such a mood.
Another little auto scroller here. Chapter 4 is kind of notorious for its auto scrollers. Most of them we have like cool strats for, but some of them we just have to ride the blocks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whoops. Apparently wasn't in line with that.
T has a couple of cool strats on this.
Yeah,
one.
this is where it gets cooler here. If I can showcase it.
Ooh.
That's fine. Alright, so the screen coming up is actually really unique. If one of you guys want to explain that.
Is it the key screen?
Yep.
Okay, so the next screen has a bunch of those lock switches that Dave was talking about earlier. Teach is actually just going to skip all of them. Because of the way that the wind pushes you here, you can actually use it to get over this really fat block and jump off that little corner and get to first.
Nice.
That's really good.
Who makes it look so easy? It ain't.
It's really not. But I feel like all our runners here at GDQ make everything look easy. And there's a nice little cycle skip here at the end. Gonna wall bounce off of that, hyper off of here, and
Yes.
that's 4B. And like Dave said earlier, it's actually possible to die after collecting the heart, but before it triggers that you have it. So he actually jumped off of the wall there at the end just to make sure he didn't fall off the bottom.
Yep.
You died once? What?
Yeah, it was the second screen as well.
One. Wow.
The second screen where I had to redo the auto scroll skip there.
So this is one of the best songs in the game. Teach is not gonna let you hear it for very long, but
It's a shame. It's a shame that in this speedrun you don't hear this song for very long. Or you don't hear the piano at least for very long.
Yeah. Chapter 5 is a very different style of level where it more like opens up and becomes sort of more exploratory. But this is a speedrun, so we're gonna take like the shortest line possible through the stage. There's tons of branching areas full of like fins.
so the red bubbles in contrast to the what did we decide? Turquoise?
Turquoise bubble.
It doesn't matter, dude.
They actually travel infinitely until Teach decides to exit them with a dash. So that's a little bit of a difference there between those and the ones in the previous chapter, as well as these platforms here that activate when you dash and then return.
Jump energy.
This category is actually unique since we actually go for 2 yeets. That strat is called yeet, by the way. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, so what happened there was Teach actually used the momentum from the dash block that he was on and combined that with a corner boost to, like we said, get really, really fast.
Yeah, you can perhaps surmise by what's just transpired, but dash blocks, they move when you dash. So yeah, you can set them up to get lots of momentum.
Alright, so now we're going to return to the map and we're going to do it again. So fun fact, we call this the double yeet. It only saves time if you get it again.
Double.
If not, it loses like a second.
It's a really hard strat too.
Yeah, it's not easy at all.
Do we have a double yeet?
Oh, we don't. You know what? I'm doing it again. Screw it.
For the fans.
There we go.
Double yeet. Filthy. Filthy double yeet.
So the heart in this chapter is actually locked behind a locked door. I guess that was a redundant statement. But
Chill.
it's Teach has to come up here through this extra section that you don't normally see to get the key. And the game actually puts a locked door between here and the locked door for the heart. So you actually have to take a hidden path to avoid that door and get the heart.
They say smuggling a key through a key door is like not a speedrun thing. That's just a part of level design.
I'm going for this, by the way.
He's going for double bubble skip. You have to get a tight corner boost off this little spike here in order to skip going up and around, getting bubbles like that.
There we go.
That's the
Very nice.
Only slightly better than SGDQ.
And
Only
that
slightly better.
And that corner boost is actually a little bit harder because you lose most of your speed because of how far you're traveling. So it's a little bit tighter than the other ones.
Alright, so we're actually going to, this heart room has a lot of platforming to go up and around to get the heart. We're not going to do any of that because there is a skip here. There we go. That's really good.
Try. Confident play.
Whoops. I hope I didn't mess up any of my options there. That would be bad.
It's
it's really easy to accidentally open the options menu while doing it, and like I like to accidentally turn Rumble on a whole bunch. It's great.
We have a short sequence of cutscenes here, so you might have time for one donation. Yep.
We have a $5 donation from Covert Muffin that says, "Hey Teach, proud of all the hard work you've put in and pumped for you to show off more epic tech. May the spikes and Kevin blocks be ever so friendly."
Thanks a lot, Covert. Appreciate it, man.
And a $10 donation from the Celeste 1A Puzzle Birds that says, "Caw."
Of course.
There we go.
You happy now?
Satisfactory.
All right, so on the next screen, there's a really cool strat here that only works if Teach fastballs
Ooh.
after this. You can actually try that at home if you want. All you have to do is fastball and line up your jump.
Yep.
And these are Seekers here. They're going to rush after Teach. One thing we didn't say, there is absolutely no RNG in this run. Depending on how Teach moves through the room, he's going to know where the Seeker's going to be.
This was my favorite one. He gets a little bonk there. It doesn't look like it works, but it just barely does. And there's a
Yep.
nice follow-up there. Get a sequential bonk. Bonks off 2 of them in a row.
And they can activate the coins for you.
They can. You can bait them into doing so. Also, when they die, they eventually respawn, and when they explode, they activate switches.
And they can launch you, which you will see later.
They can. It gives you a nice little bit of momentum. We use everything in this one. Everything. Every little mechanic that was ever put into this game is like exploited to its full potential.
Pretty much. It's very, very diverse in its movement, and that's what makes it such an awesome game.
So this segment is a really big segment called Search, where you're looking for your friend Theo. Teach doesn't care about
He
any of
skipped
that. He's just left.
That little piece of movement there saves like somewhere in the ballpark of like 3 minutes or something. Probably
Yeah,
a bit more.
it's a very, very big skip compared to the casual playthrough of the game.
Because normally you have to get a bunch of keys, open a bunch of doors, and then get a bubble. It's like, how about alternative? No.
Yeah. We like that strat. We're speedrunners. One thing I like about 5A is you step on a lot more Seekers. And I don't like
Poor
it though.
Seekers. Let's count the amount of Seekers we land on here, actually.
So here, Teach is actually combining some weird mechanics with when
There's
carrying
one.
Theo with some ultra dashes. So he's going to be preserving a lot of momentum every time he picks up the crystal and just pretty much flying through these screens.
Yeah, the crystal interacts with momentum in a way that I really don't understand precisely. Flair Bear explained it to me, but I just heard jazz music in my ears. It's very weird and complicated. You get used to the feel of it, but it kind of like stops friction when you pick him up.
This made a speed here.
It extends it a bit
Never mind.
further.
Do it again.
Yeah, this
That won't fly.
This is a nice big one. That will fly.
There we go.
however.
That will.
Big speed, straight into the door.
Just go up and over here.
You're
with that
supposed to throw
platform.
Theo onto the platform. Alternatively, take him over the top.
Oh.
Nice little bump.
Yeah, just kick them all. Kick them all. Here's some more ultras right here, jumping around, going fast.
These little shockwaves that emanate pushing back, but you can dash through them if you have good timing.
And that's chapter 5A.
Nicely done.
Okay, so 5B actually is faster in the 80% run. Fun fact. We actually get the tape and then close out and do 5B, and due to a bug, it allows us to open 6A that way. But so it's made possible by this trick called the Bubs Drop. The tech was found by Bubbai, and the application actually was found by Demo Jameson. So, one of you guys want to explain that, actually?
Yeah,
While I
sure.
do this?
So there's going to be a screen here with a one-way transition where you land on a platform after you transition, and you can't go back down because Madeline actually can't drop through platformers like most characters can in platformers. But by wall jumping off the wall right before he lands on the platform and actually dropping back down into this screen, didn't
That
get
was
it.
too early.
Fortunately, there's a checkpoint really close by, so you can just go for it again.
It is near frame perfect.
Yeah, but if he does that, when he comes back into this screen, the game doesn't know where to put him if he dies. So it's actually going to put him at the respawn point on the right. And there
There you go. Doing that saves a lot of time. Since 5B, a lot like 5A, is also more of an exploratory level. You gotta go around, get a bunch of keys. Doing that skips the entire process.
Yeah, you actually don't pick up any keys with the route now.
None. So like that wall. It's supposed to open that and go back out.
And a cool thing you're going to see at the end of the screen here, Teach is going to appear to wall jump off the spikes. As long as he's moving away from the wall, he won't take damage from the spike.
Yep.
That skips getting another key. So the idea is you ride a bubble up there. You can just about fit through.
And just like 5A, at the top of the screen, Siege is going to activate a mirror, which is going to put him in like this kind of weird dark universe thing. I'm not trying to get into any of the plot, but just again,
Metaphor for anxiety.
no floor.
I just want to say this is the best B-side music.
This is my favorite as well.
Yeah. Sorry, Teach.
It's okay. It's fine. People have
No,
opinions.
We're gonna kick a lot of Seekers here. That was
Yes.
1. This is 2.
Here's 3.
And skip that whole section. So again, just like Oshiro, stepping on the Seekers actually gives Madeline her dash back.
We actually went on this guy twice
Yeah, we really don't like that
and then
guy.
use him.
Nice big boost.
And somehow, Theo got trapped again. So here we are saving him one more time.
Here's another one.
Actually, you might kick more Seekers in this chapter. I might
I
have
think you do, actually.
I like how you blocked
sometimes
that guy.
pick that one, too.
You blocked him with the crystal instead. I like that. That's creative.
So you couldn't see it because of the text box. Theo was asking if this is canon. I don't think it is. But there was actually a switch up there, and Tej went up and pressed it.
You bumped that guy twice.
Yeah.
You really didn't like him.
Yeah, he got in my way. Happens.
And Tej is gonna go for a cycle skip on this next screen here. Let's see if he gets it.
This one's clearly impossible.
This is it though.
Hey, nicely done.
Nice, first try.
Oh, wait. Oh, wait, no, that's not right.
No, because I had to return.
I was going to say, like, what?
208.
That one, IO.
What's
IL
that big
record.
shot? I forget. When you retry from, like, after saving and quitting, it resets the chapter timer, so you can't do, like, fraudulent IO runs every time.
I totally just got IL record by 13 seconds. No big deal. All right, so I'm gonna actually just do 6A for right now, as if it were any percent. I'm gonna come back later and get the hurt set because I think it works out a little bit better that way.
So 6A introduces us to these feathers, which, as you can see, allows us to fly through the air for a certain amount of time.
Yep, and you'll notice I'm actually the joystick on the controller actually allows for 360 movement with these feathers, which is cool. Here's Lake Skip. There we go.
Bye, Lex.
That's really difficult and saves like 5 seconds or something. So yeah, with the feathers, if you move more than 17 degrees, you will lose speed. So in order to move in that sort of increments, you need to use the analog stick. Also, shouts out to Kevin, it's more efficient. Yeah, those blocks that when you hit them, they make the... That's Kevin. That's the guy who did the sound effects for this game.
He's a great guy.
Shout out to Kevin.
There's lots of wonderful varied sound effects in this game, and there's also Kevin warbling into a microphone.
Underwater.
I love you, Kevin, by the way. So Teach said that he will come back later to collect the hot... Also, get that block out of the way immediately. Wants none of that. But Teach said he'll come back later to get the hot in the cassette. That's an interesting point. He thinks it works out better that way, because that's how Teach does it. You don't have to do any of this in any strict order. He likes to go 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, so on and so forth. There's no strict order that you have to do any of that in. You can mix it up how you please.
Yep. You just need to get the first 16 hearts before the C sides are
That's
on.
it.
That's the only prerequisite.
So you can do the B-sides in pretty much any order you prefer, really.
Yeah. You can do them all back to back after the A sides. So this is Hollows. There's actually a bunch of branching paths here, but as speedrunners, we found the most optimal one. So those are the ones Tej is picking.
And with these bumpers, one thing Tej is going to be able to demonstrate is if you hit the bumper and you're holding away from it on the frame that you hit the bumper, you will actually get a double boost from it. A double boost can be good and bad. Like, sometimes it's good because you can get a large boost. Sometimes it's bad because you can kill yourself with it.
I'm actually going to try and go through a bumper on this screen. See if it works.
Yes, when you hit them, they deactivate for a bit, so you can end up on the other side, just like that. That's difficult. I've never been able to get any one of those at all. Nice ultra into the feather, so it immediately shoots him forward.
We're going to try and squeeze in between two middle bumpers here, and there we go.
Yeah. Nicely done.
And you might not remember this lady. She was in the prologue laughing at us.
Here she is again, laughing at us.
Now she's motivating us. And laughing at us still.
Still laughing at us. She thinks everything's fun.
Are there any cutscenes where she doesn't laugh?
No.
I think there are.
I don't think she likes Madeline very much.
I think she does deep down.
Madeline's not the most polite mountain climber.
She just had an odd way of showing her affection.
The only swimming in the game, right here. Thank you, Matt,
Yeah,
for not
thank
making any water levels. I really appreciate it.
This actually was, this was supposed to be a water level, like, early in development, and then, thankfully, it is no longer.
There's a very nice jump coming up here. Teach showing off a little during the...
This is one of my favorites. It's a big boost. We call this the
Yep.
Madeline boost. Whoosh! Straight in, baby. Nicely done. fight where we just have to hurl ourselves into battle and repeatedly to reach the end of the screen. It's the closest thing this game has to a boss fight.
Yeah. So this section is just like really nice music and really tight mechanics. So just let you guys enjoy the show here until we get to the ultra screens here in just a second.
You want to take a donation or two?
Sure thing. We have a $500 donation from Genso. That says, "This isn't GDQ. Just breathe. Why are you so nervous? You can do this." We also have a $500 donation from Fast B. That says, "I donate $1 for each of my cumulative deaths in this game, but that would probably bankrupt me." Not a bad decision there. And then we have a $100 donation from Lena Rain that says, "Hey all, it's always amazing to see Celeste speedruns, even if it means the music gets cut a little short. I tuned in at SGDQ and it was amazing to hear everyone singing along to the music. Go fast, you can do this."
Thanks, Lana. Shout out.
Alright, now we're in the second half of the fight.
Get a little bit of remix to the music here.
Yep.
These blocks were actually moving after Teach hit battle line before, but now they start moving preemptively. But Teach still doesn't care. He's just gonna go fast.
What's under that projectile there? Doesn't want to die.
Uses the momentum there from the block pushing him up to get to the top of the screen.
Always little abuses everywhere. Just go as far as he possibly can.
He's gonna do Punchy's favorite reverse right
Yeah,
here.
this reverse ultra. This saves like 3 frames. It's pointless. I hate it. But he does it anyway. Like if you mess that up, you die. But everyone seems to do it. And I'm just like, why?
Celeste is all about making the room 5 times harder to save like 0.2 seconds.
But 3 frames though, man.
That's not gonna work.
3.
Let's carry.
That'd be a play it safe. There we go.
Nice.
Plays the same. Completes the boss fight.
So at the end of chapter 6, Battle Line and Madeline reconcile their differences and combine into one super line. And you now have 2 dashes, as you can see from the pink hair.
We have now become Pink Celeste.
But Teej is going to relinquish all those powers to go into 6 speed. But first we have to get the heart in the
Yep.
set.
Give me the heart stuff.
We don't get to have fun with our 2 dashes just yet. We got more stuff to do.
Alright, so there's some fun stuff coming up. I am going to hopefully pull this strat off. I can't guarantee anything. I don't even know what you'd call this. I very rarely get this.
I'd call this Revo's nonsense. Do we have Revo's?
Oh, wait!
Oh!
Nonsense!
Whoa! That was...
Okay, that was not supposed to work.
That is so precise.
Oh, baby!
Okay, so as for the 6A heart, I actually, the former world record holder, I don't know the code for the 6A heart, so I'm going to pass off the controller to my good friend Ben Teasy and let him input the heart code.
Oh, I always forget you have a different path.
Yeah, National Circle.
You got this, Ben.
You're witnessing the world record for all chapters co-op right now.
I almost forgot.
We got it. Yep. Give it up for Ben. Thanks, man.
No problem.
You heard it here, folks. Best co-op.
Yeah, Teej usually has like a little notepad document open on the side of his monitor with the optimal way to put the dashes.
Yep.
But there's a different setup from home, so helping him out. Here we got permanent Hey Yas.
Here's Ben's favorite level.
Oh.
This might be the hardest level of the game. I think so.
Yeah, it's one of the more difficult ones for sure.
Yep. Shout out to Revo.
Yeah, so we keep mentioning Revo. He's a South American runner. Fortunately, had a few issues, couldn't make it to GDQ, but he is notorious for just coming up with the most insane strats, and he's such a good guy. So Teej actually donated $500 earlier in the marathon that we had raised to get him here, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah,
He went to charity.
He was supposed to be here to run Freedom Planet, but stuff happened and now he can't, and it's really a shame because he is one of the most talented runners I think any speedrun community has ever had. He's ridiculous. He's credit to this game and every game he's ever touched.
Yeah, so shout outs once more to Revo. We miss you, man, and hopefully you can make it to the next one.
That was kind of weird.
Literally no floor. I'm just gonna keep bringing it up.
How to design a beast run? Delete the floor. I'm sure it's more complex.
I feel like that was on the drawing board when they were designing the level.
Oh boy. So fun fact about these screens right here. These screens were originally supposed to be in the A side, according to Matt Thorson. And I'd just like to personally thank Matt for not making these part of the A side.
There's a couple of these ravine screens in a row, so if you want to go ahead and read a donation or two.
Sure thing. We have a $10 donation from the Mount Celeste Search and Rescue. Madeline's Dash mission, dying on those demo dashes? Well, for only one easy payment of all your money, we will find it for you. No, response may take several days and not guaranteed. For our slogan is, climbing mountains have never been easier. Trademark. Teach love.
I wonder if I could subscribe to that service. I looked at.
We also have a $500 donation from Poop Poop. Yeah. Had to throw in another donation for one of my favorite games of all time, Celeste. I remember seeing this at SGQ last year, and it's no less impressive this time around. Too bad we don't get to hear more of the music. I agree.
Agreed.
Time also we can hear more of the music. Apple Music and Spotify. True.
Yeah, the soundtrack is on Spotify for those of you that want to listen to it some more.
Also, hey, if you are watching this live, this game is currently free on Xbox Live if you have Xbox Live Gold. So please play this game.
Or just buy the game. It's amazing.
That too.
It was up for Game of the Year.
It is incredibly good. The one indie game of the year at the Game Awards.
Yep.
Yeah. But it's not often you see an indie game be even nominated for Game of the Year. So
No, it really isn't.
just credit to the developers once again. It might sound like we're overselling them, but the game is really, really.
No, this is definitely
incredible.
the best game I played the year it came out. Like definitely.
So this is a bit of a complex screen. You have to get all these lock switches while in a feather, while avoiding battle line, while not landing because there's no floor. At least he put a platform. That platform wasn't there for us originally. He had pity on us that we were dying at the end of the screen. Patched it in for us. Yeah, the game is on Switch and Xbox and PS4 and PC, so no excuse.
No, you have to play the game.
Oh, this screen has a very interesting strat here. Tej is actually going to wait just a hair at this end section right here for this dash crystal to respawn so that he can...
Oh, I went early. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he wanted to skip having to go to the right side of the room there and use the other Kevin blocks to get back. So he's just going to use that... Okay.
Excuse me? Okay.
You can do it however you want, Tej. I'll stop telling you how to do it.
Yeah, quit distracting me, dude. Hey, there we go. Alright, I'm gonna try something on the screen too. I cannot guarantee I'm gonna get this. This strat's pretty difficult.
I'm gonna try some things.
Nope. Alright, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, so like we said, there's no cap to,
Okay, we can try it again.
to Madeline's acceleration. So when you combine these moving platforms with downright dashes,
Better tries a chomp.
I believe in you.
Come on. Close. Had the speed. Didn't quite get the squat under. Yeah!
There you go. Let's go through this bumper right here.
And what? Okay.
We don't need that other one. And all these lock switches right here.
Nah.
We don't need any of that too. We're just gonna squeeze through here.
Puzzles?
Thanks.
Nope.
Get a nice little reverse ultra dash right here. Get some speed.
Yeah, these rooms are all on tight like he just barely slips under the laser beam there without getting killed.
And
I mean,
this strat is really cool right here. We don't need any of that.
Madeline getting a haircut with the laser.
This screen is very particular with cycles. I am very carefully managing my movement here in order to avoid these lasers. And
That's good.
okay, that's fine. We're good. We're good. Don't panic. We're good.
I believe that was the instance of Teach going for a double bumper boost, but not getting
extremely accurate.
There we
Yep. So he did not have his dash when he touched the heart, but when you touch the heart but aren't dashing, you bounce off it. But when you bounce off it, you get your dash back. So if you're ready for it, you can dash straight into it again. Just barely save yourself. Just tap the heart.
Yeah, we'll definitely see that on the different B side as well as some of the C side.
Okay, so the way 7A works is, so there's a heart at the end of the chapter, but you won't be able to get it until you get these 6 gems that are scattered throughout each area. So we'll be getting those along the way. Other than that, it's pretty much 90% solid.
Also, Teach has 2 dashes now, and that lets you do a lot of fun things.
And with chapter 7, we will be revisiting the themes of all the previous chapters. This section is kind of like the chapter 6 section, but the next section will revisit chapter 1, and we'll be going through all of those level gimmicks with 2 dashes this time around, which essentially means no 4.
Okay, it tries to give you a little trick here, because the gem's actually off the right side of the screen. It's like, don't get the purple thing, get the gem.
Yeah. And the purple circle there is, as you can see, it's battle line, and she's throwing us up into the next area. You actually can't beat the screen to get to the next section unless you have battle line at the top of the screen. So even if she's off to the side and it might be kind of slow to go get her, Teach has to go get her so that he can continue to the next section.
Taking a little detour around here to get to the heart, instead of taking the strict route. Because the heart's up in a weird place.
And these platforms are merely suggestions. We don't need any of them.
There's a little hole there. This all just tight.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually self-destruct after getting this gem. And it's going to take me back here and allow me to advance a little quicker through here.
Yeah. Teach basically just wants to get more money out of Duke. What's happening?
Just yelled it doesn't count.
Nice little bunny hop here to skip that springs. Springs are slow. Gonna get up here, and then we're gonna try to grab the corner of this block to activate it early.
Nicely done. Gets it out of the way early.
And then we're gonna come up here, and that's the 500.
Well done.
Alright, so now that we have 2 dashes, you'll be seeing Teach hyper dash out of these green blocks like crazy, because we have another dash to deal with after he performs the move.
It's much more effective when you have 2 dashes well. Like, you can do it with 1 dash, but then you have no dash afterwards. Like, what are you going to do? You just have no dash in the air. You're very sad. When you have 2 dashes, you can do fun things like that. And this.
Yeah, and this is a bunch of combinations of corner boost, hyper dashes, and double jumps out of the extreme blocks. So this is definitely like mastery of Celeste being demonstrated right here. It is nowhere near as easy as it looks.
The frame window for getting a hyper out of a dream block as well is not big. I think it's hard.
Not at all, yeah.
But he just... I haven't seen him miss one. I know that's tempting fate, but like, no. Hit, all hit.
Don't jinx me, Punchy,
I'm
please.
trying really hard.
You can even do it going down
Yep.
with no
Yeah.
floor.
No floor, still hits it.
And you can do it off of spikes.
Like so.
Like right here.
All hit. No miss.
That was
Brilliant.
I love that section. This section, however, can kick rocks.
Yeah. Yep.
It's aggressively cycle-based, just like the stage of which it's based. And yeah, these strats are all kind of hard and kind of tight.
Gonna go for
Right,
a
just
cycle step.
squeeze in here. Oh,
Unfortunately.
Tough.
yeah, that one's pretty tough.
We can just go back here.
Yeah, this is where the cassette's hiding.
Get to hear a little bit of cassette music, but this one he actually has to wait.
And then again, when you see Teach dash into the floor, he's trying to delay the in-game timer.
How dare they make us wait?
Goodbye, cassette music. We loved you.
Right, back to cycles.
Oops.
Pause. You wanted none of those cycles.
There's no pause buffers in this game that I know of.
Shut up. There is now.
Alright, we got my favorite room right here. This is the Ultra Dash room.
Fast, more fast.
Get that thin platform, gets his dash back, and then goes low.
Fast,
Like the jet.
fast.
Self-destruct here saves a little time as well.
Maybe that's pretty cute.
It's nice how you can self-destruct or return to map, like, literally as soon as you touch the gem. It registers immediately. Franker Z?
Yeah, you might have not noticed, but the dust bunnies in that room are actually shaped a little bit like a puppy.
Yep.
So,
Is
shout outs
that
to-
why that
Yep.
happened?
Yep.
Yeah. Shout outs to the famous Twitch emote, Frankie Z.
I'd gone this entire time without knowing why people do that. I was too scared to ask.
So the gem in this section is actually like really far out of the way here. So what TJ's gonna do is he's actually gonna go get it, and then he's gonna return to the map and load up the section again and start from the beginning, just to save a little bit of time in game.
Yep, this saves about 2 seconds for a human.
He interrupted the glorious music, but we're gonna let him slide.
It saves time.
Yeah.
So now you can go up the upper route instead.
And get a nice little sequence of hyper dashes off of these clouds.
Free berry.
Let's see if he can keep this one till the end. He always tries.
Oh boy, okay, I'll try.
I'm gonna put the pressure on you.
Berries do not collect unless you touch the ground for 9 frames a week. It is possible to carry berries for ludicrous periods of time. Sometimes even if you don't want them to. Double berries.
So these moving blocks
Big
don't
skip.
count as safe ground. So the berry won't collect even though he's nice. That's the auto scroller skip there.
Lands it. Lands it.
I'm trying really hard. I'm trying so hard.
These don't count. It's fine.
This has no bearing on the run, like, whatsoever, by the way.
No, he just wants to keep the berries.
Oh, I
won't
collected one.
collect it.
Oh,
What?
okay. I think I wave dashed with too much of a separation.
That was 9 frames?
Apparently.
I don't think
There's a cool wall bounce right here.
around the corner. Takes like a circular motion around it.
And this screen
berry.
has another demo dash, which is the cross dash we were talking about earlier. He's just gonna squeeze into this little crevice right here. And yep. Skips having to grab that block to activate it and gets to go fast. And we
Alright,
kept
we
the
made it
berry.
to Battle
You
Line.
kept the berry.
Yep. That's as far as you can take it, by the way, because Battle Line makes you automatically collect the
That is actually insane that you're able to carry that the entire way.
There's no purpose to doing so. He just does it because he can.
Oh yeah, or
Why is there suddenly a chant occurring? I'm scared.
I have no idea what's going on.
I'm very scared.
don't worry about it. Just
It's a
roll
new
with it.
meme. Don't worry. Just let
Yeah,
it.
just roll
let
with
it be.
Oh, that. Wow.
All right, TJ's gonna do something really cool here. He's gonna do like a double spike jump or spike wall jump.
Boing boing. Boing boing. Don't need to go around the lower path to get the bubble. Just
Yep.
do that. It's great.
This next screen is one of my favorite screens. He's gonna do some interesting movement here. Go under here. Oh,
And die.
Every time.
I can't talk. And nice.
Time to thread the needle.
Ooh, clean.
Forget these doors. We're not opening them.
Big door skip. Big door skip.
Run valid.
So that trick, like when it was found, was among like the this is the ultimate in like big, barely saves any time, but it's really difficult tricks. It has since been very much supplanted in terms
Yeah.
of difficulty, but it remains very fondly liked. There are lots of circles in this game. They all orbs now, I guess.
Okay, so the heart for chapter 7 is right here at the beginning of. Give him a second, guys. He's got to get the heart first, and then you guys.
Yep.
He's actually going to return to map after. Save and quit, I believe, after getting the heart here. So the heart here is going to show that all the gems were collected, and it's going to bring down the heart. There's actually an invisible wall where those spikes are, so even if you make yourself invincible, you can't get up there. You have to just have the gems.
Yep. So we save and quit there just because it skips the hard text. I'm pretty convinced that that's like the only source of time save
Okay.
of time save for saving quitting.
Meanwhile, everyone counts down from 28.
All right, Chad, I want to see all the numbers. Come on.
Let you guys enjoy 3,000 meters in the
goes-
champ.
25, 23. Love to count with Celeste.
Unfortunately, we don't get all these flags, but
So the wind is like pushing down on him right now as well, which limits his jump height. Okay.
and yes, I did just jump
Yes,
on
you
spikes,
did.
by the way.
I wasn't sure if I saw that properly. That's an effect of the wind pushing him down.
Yes.
I don't know why it does that, but it does that. 19. I'm doing it now. I should spell. That ain't my job. That's their job.
Yeah, now we're in the updraft section with this, which is essentially Celeste with low gravity.
This is a glorified Mega Man water level right now. You're just. This was Matt tricking us into thinking there was no water level.
Jeez, it's Things are differently framed.
It kind of is like a
No!
underwater feel, isn't it? The physics.
I ruined it for Punchy.
Cannot unsee.
It's all framing.
Nice little neutral wall jump here to get over those spikes.
He's not touching it.
No, doesn't count.
No, no.
Will he get 9 though? Okay, he gets 9. Skip
Give
as
that
many as
two.
possible.
They get so sad.
6.
What number is orb again? He didn't touch it. No. Don't touch it.
I love this audience.
You guys are fantastic.
Oh,
He can save this. He can save this.
nice,
Nice,
very
nice,
good,
nice.
very good.
Fine.
Smooth. Will he get 2? Will he skip it? Oh, he tried. He tried. You tried.
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay,
Well, good
Good thing you got it.
See, the audience, we're helping you, Tej.
Oh, I know.
Rude.
And that's chapter 7.
All right, so that is where the any percent run would end. However, we're not even close to done yet. We still have 7B and Chapter 8 and all the seasides to go.
What?
Bit much.
All right, so now we're gonna move into 7B, which is personally my favorite chapter to speedrun. This level's pretty awesome.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of 2D. Yeah, once again, a remix of all the stage's themes in one go. And this is... If 6B is not the hardest level in the game, this one is. That's what I think. It's long. See,
Lots of pause buffers.
That's it.
All right.
We have a real pause buffer now.
The first like 2 sections of this level are just really tight platforming. So if you wanted to read a donation,
So we have a $1,000 donation from
Woo!
Hooligan. Thank you, Hooligan. He says, my brother donated earlier saying he couldn't afford to donate for each of his casual debts, but I can. I think this donation gets us about halfway there. And then we have a $10,000 donation from the Yeti. Hey y'all, Yeti here. Here's $10,000. Thanks to everyone picking up shirts to support this amazing cause. Had to donate during the Celeste run. It is always so impressive to see. A special shout out to the audio team behind this game, Power Up Audio. They're amazing people who make great games sound incredible. Thank you so much for that 10K.
Ooh.
Close.
This is a tight one. He tries to get this one little jump around.
Come on,
It requires
man.
a max height jump off the ledge.
you got this.
That's the one.
There we go.
There you go.
Orb. Can confirm. Orb.
Metal parkour master.
So we'll be double jumping and hypering out of these as well. Like there's a hyper. A little cool skip in this room right here. So instead of taking it all the way to the right, we just do that.
Yeah, and that was possible because he grabbed the block on the side and changed like how far he dashed through it.
So he abuses the fact that you can double jump out of blocks a lot in this room to avoid having to grab the right wall instead, because there's one patch there that doesn't have spikes on the sides. Alternatively, just double jump out of them. Abuse that.
This section here is notorious casually for being so difficult, especially the last screen.
Chapter 3. It's the hardest chapter in other chapters.
See if we can go underneath here. There we go.
That was sick.
And then I die, of course.
What if he's so dramatic?
Come on, man. We'll get through the screen eventually. There we go.
Take your time.
This screen right here is the cycle is so annoying because you don't have a way to stop your movement to get through. But Teach has a nice strat in that room, and that was really good there.
A nice little delay. That's a bubble. I'll accept all for the purple things. Bubbles on the orbs.
Nice little wind and snowballs here, trying to stop us.
Snowball. I'll accept this.
This is okay.
That's a coin. That's not an orb. There we go.
Audience versus the couch.
They can be an orb if they want to be.
It has actual orbs, though. That's not one of them.
Oh, enjoy. There's a lot of these.
It's progressing.
We're now saying every object in the game.
They just want to contribute.
I'd hate to be the bearer of bad news, guys. We are skipping an orb. Orb skip.
They don't care. There's enough orbs.
Whole chat is spamming orb. Thanks, chat.
So the interesting part about this section right here is actually that the game hasn't taught you how to wall bounce yet, but Teach is gonna wall bounce through all of this to skip a bunch of these segments. I'm just gonna let them do them.
If they want.
You could get some of the communities to work on labbing out an orbless run.
This is orbs by number with TGH.
Yep.
It's like a coloring book.
Okay, that was.
Brought to you by the letter O.
Oh.
Nice cloud skip.
We skip that one too. There we go. I'm gonna try to do this without grabbing.
The Mad Lad.
There we go.
Nice, dude.
Nice done.
I love you guys.
We love you too.
All right, that's Arbor.
That's fine. Yeah, one last one. This is where the game would normally teach you how to do the wall jump.
Yep.
You know, the thing we've been doing the entire game.
Yeah.
And it's when you realize that all of these alternate strats are consciously developed into the levels, you start to get like a newfound appreciation for the game. When you just
Oh
realize.
yeah, watch this.
Oh,
Like through the
nice.
spike.
Oh, dash. Teaches magic.
What?
I don't even. I have no idea.
Diamond.
One! No more of this. We have reached the top again.
But we're not done.
This might possibly be the most difficult room of this type. Teach, I swear, many months of TTS Thursdays prepared
Yeah.
me for this moment. Many months.
That's very true. There was a reason behind it all.
How to do a speedrun with hundreds of people yelling at you. Stream on Twitch.
So
All right. Okay. Yep. You want to explain Corbin?
Yeah, sure. Core is a unique chapter in the sense that it's the only chapter that doesn't replenish her dashes when you touch the floor. So you'll see here, Madeline's hair is going to turn red, then it's going to turn blue, and until she picks up the dash crystal, she doesn't actually get her dashes back. So I was just going to say, it's really interesting. The strats that have gotten developed for Core is because it's basically finding the most efficient ways to use your dashes.
Also, every time Teach jumps, like bunny hops, he's gonna save 2 frames.
It's something to do with how it sets your speed value, I think.
Yeah, it's an inherent speed boost that you get from jumping, I believe. All right, so we're gonna skip this entire right side right here by just going through these fireballs here.
Nope. Yeah, normally you're supposed to go very far to the right to change that to ice, which is the main mechanic of Core. We're gonna see that in just a second here. But Teach is just immune to fireballs. So.
This will occur a few times throughout the core levels where if you do certain skips in certain ways, it will start the next room in either hot or ice when it's not supposed to be. And yet, despite that, at no point does it ever become, like, unwinnable.
Yeah. It almost seems intentionally designed that way.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
I'm saying they did it on purpose.
Yeah.
This game's great.
Skip the switch there. Nice little strat here.
Ooh,
Nice. And still has his dashes, so you can still dash out of the room at the end.
very spicy. Then core also a lot of cycles with these moving fireballs, and now we have lava.
Yeah, that lava's a little too slow to catch up to Teach, but as long as he avoids these fireballs, he should be fine.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a little close.
Another haircut.
I paused a little bit there to get the spike I like for this room.
Ah.
And these blocks are all completely optional. Teach did not need any of them.
So we can get some extreme vertical speed there. There we go.
This
You can
one-
actually wall bouncing off of those conveyor belts. Like actually, they give you like pretty much double speed going off of them.
He saved this one dash from the very beginning of the room so he can use it here at the end to get to the top and skip the crystal on the right. This room is really tight too. It's really nice.
Gets around there.
I'm not gonna go for that. All right.
Nice.
And now for this part, we have lava on the top too,
Yeah, feeling is lava.
because physics. And now it's ice. So the good thing about this hitting the switches is that it changes the which direction the lava is flowing, or the ice. So the strats through the room and making sure you're hitting the switches in such a way that you're able to get through without having the lava catch up to you. This next screen here, I'm sorry, not this one. It's the one after this. The next screen after this has a unique strat where Teach is actually going to preserve his dash all the way to the next room so that he can. I'm talking about a different level.
That is in the B side.
I was about to say like, what am I doing then? Is that new strat?
You're doing excellent feather movement. Keep it up.
Thank you, sir.
Fun fact, you can actually demo dash out of feathers. There's no real known application for it yet, but
There is, but it's like it's not something I'm gonna be going for. I think it's in 60.
As Punchy pointed out.
Yeah.
And now we're in outer space. And the screen loops.
And the physics are halved. Basically, you fall twice as slow. That's not good.
I've been playing this game for almost a year and I still don't understand why it's like that.
I don't get the symbolism either. I'm sure there's something to it, but I don't know what it is.
But that's 8A.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Core B has the same mechanics, but actually has a little cutscene at the start where it checks to see if you have the other 15 hearts before it unlocks. So we have time for a donation or two.
So we have a $20 donation from Zerulsil that says, noun, orb, plural noun, orbs. 1, a spherical body, a globe. Your definition of an orb.
I'll give you a definition of an orb.
We also have an anonymous $1,451 donation.
Is that a death count?
Yep, went to check, and here's $1 per death for my casual Celeste playthrough. Also, orb. I see what the next meme is.
It continues. Next.
I think we have time for one more.
And then we have a $10 donation from Daydallas216 that says, this comment dedicated to those who perished on the climb.
So once again, no flaw. So this is the screen that Ben was talking about where
Yeah.
he's going to keep his dash throughout the entire way so that he can dash into the next screen and just propel himself forward.
Or I'm gonna die on that spike.
That was intentional.
That was just to showcase.
He was
I don't know,
giving us
just-
more time to explain the strat to you.
Yeah, thanks, Stage.
Yeah, just in case you miss it the other 50 times. That's what it looks like when you die.
So yeah, he skipped that core block there. And also, it is very particular where you grab these blocks, and when you jump off of them, your trajectory can definitely go wild.
It's extremely analog, so like it's very hard to be exact with it.
Whoops. Whoa. Okay. Did not mean to land on that guy. Whoops. Let me do this.
So the undersides of these clean. They're spiky. But I also find it's a bit particular about what counts as the side.
Okay, squeezes through that time.
There we go. Little kick off those spikes. Tiny little optimization.
And this room was the room that I found to be nightmarish, casually.
Yes.
Nice, gets the first try.
Yeah, these next few rooms are very cycle based, and if you're a little bit off cycle, it can be kind of hard to react. This one in particular.
I actually like to baby these rooms and get rid of all of the icicles, or the ice versions of the fireballs, and then proceed.
So this room had a switch at the start that was actually supposed to turn it into lava. You're supposed to use these core blocks to like propel yourself through the stage, but Siege is just using a bunch of advanced strats to keep it in ice and actually skip all of the intended mechanics for these two screens there. Fortunately, can't do it here.
Again, still possible to complete the levels despite them being in complete either run mode. It's a testament to the solidness of the level design. It's very well put together.
Here we have a little homage to every single mechanic from the other levels.
Thank you.
He's gonna try to not activate. Oh, he's gonna try to not activate this block from the left, so he can actually get a little bit further with his dash. That's gonna save him a little bit of time there. Nice bumper boost there.
Yeah, block-based gimmicks that require you to actually like grab them to activate. You can just jump off them without activating. It's difficult, but you can do it.
So this is the room I thought Siege was in before, where he was going to keep his dash.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And yeah, he's gonna hyper into this room, and that allows him to skip that first switch there. Very tight.
I'm gonna try something here too.
I'm just gonna try.
I'm gonna keep this room in ice.
Excuse me.
And
Reverse. Corner boost.
Oh!
Nice.
Big play!
That was huge.
So now that he's kept it in ice, these spikes are actually not supposed to be blue.
Yeah, if you played this game, this room didn't look like this when you were here. Nice little demo dash through here.
oh, thanks, Hart.
Boing.
Okay.
We're officially done with all the A sides, all the B sides. We
Yep.
now have the C sides. The C sides are small, concentrated levels of extreme difficulty. They're all 3 screens long, though some of them cheat on what really is a screen. And yeah, I'm just gonna let you guys enjoy this. The
Yep.
C sides here.
Yeah, feel free to get excited for these. By the way, just like
Yeah, let's get
make
some hype.
noise.
Let's get some hype
hype.
going.
Let's get hype, guys. Come on.
Almost saved it.
Nice jump. Just that entire middle section there.
And that's 1C.
Very good.
All right, so 2C, I'm actually going to go for something called keyless. So at the end, basically there's a screen at the end, the last screen, where there's a bunch of coins that you're supposed to get. in order to move a block where you need to go to advance. I'm going to try my best to avoid the coin. Well, I'm going to avoid the coins, but I'm going to try my best to get the 3-pixel wide window on the diagonal dash at the end here.
Yeah, so
And then the jumps up are pretty tricky too, so let's see if I can get those.
Normally missing the coin would make this impossible. Ooh!
nice.
Yeah.
There we go.
First try on that, man. GG.
3 pixel. I haven't seen him miss it. 3 pixel window though.
3C, there's a strat that you can do on the first and second screen to basically skip a lot of it, like this.
For the life of me, I could not figure out how to do
Oh,
this
okay,
one.
all right. There we go.
This is everyone's favorite seaside, right?
Extreme timing. Skip, so that was a well-placed hyperdash.
So I wait for the cycle I like here, and then I go.
It's your boy Oshiro. He's back.
So this level will actually force you to use the mechanic where you need to get a bounce off Oshiro's head to regain your dash. I don't think either the A or B sides technically forces you to do this. The C side, you have to do it. 29! 29!
So the seaside is very high difficulty, but very short because these have all been averaging about 30 seconds each.
Of course, that only happens if you're as good as Tejas. I was going to say average like 10.
I was actually more like 34 since I died on the first screen, but like the IL timer resets when you die, so
Like 30 does not mean precisely.
that's true.
Bubbles! They get louder when I get insistent about it. So yeah, did Death manage to put an auto scroller in the seaside? Don't be mean!
Okay, clouds are definitely not orbs. I know that.
I mean, they can be if they're shaped a certain
Stop,
way.
don't encourage them.
Will he go for the one block wide hyper?
Hit dash.
Ooh.
Oh, you made me do that, Hunchy. You made me do that.
I totally did.
I'll do it again.
Thank you. Just for me.
You're good, Pat. Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
I just want to say we have a $25 donation from Alex the Ordinary that says, "Who replaced the audience with the Celestian say?"
5C plays the 5B theme, so best seaside by default. Well, that's 2 screens down.
9 seconds. We'll skip this bubble right here, go straight around like that. Or skip the orb, I suppose. I guess they're orbs now.
27 seconds. Who's averaging 30 now?
Alright, so this next seaside actually has some really sick strats on the last screen. I know Teja's gonna go for it at least
Yeah,
once.
I'm gonna go for the ultra ones.
This is my favorite. I love this one.
We'll let Punchy narrate the first part. He does it very good too. You have to.
Yeah, you have to. Okay, I will. But first he's gotta get there. He's gotta do these 4 essentially. But they're short, by the way.
This section was so hard for me casually until I realized you could use the analog.
So normally you have to like route a block all the way around this maze. Alternatively, you can bring it up, go under, knock it down, fast fall to beat it, go straight around, land back on top when it hits the bottom, and then knock it to the side. You get a big ultra.
So close.
You see, that's why that's my favorite, though, right?
Yes.
That's the best strat.
Yeah.
That was really close.
Bless you for trying, Tej. I love that.
That's just another good example of how fast you can get in this game by combining like the different sources of momentum.
Okay, everybody's favorite seaside.
Yep. Hold your breath.
Wallbound City.
Precision. This one's all about that minute precision.
To me, this next screen here is just one of the coolest screens in the game.
It's a gauntlet. They even bothered to put binoculars there so you can
Who needs floor?
Well, he's really just going to casually no death, that's not.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the Teach special.
Okay. Right.
There's the old lady.
Damn.
I'm very curious how the old lady got there.
Yeah, there's
But-
no elevator shaft there for her to climb down.
I'm not gonna question it, but she must be really good at dashing.
All right, last level. So time is actually going to come up here when the golden heart appears on the screen after I touch or after the graphic of the gold heart comes up on the screen.
So it's gonna appear right in the center, and that's gonna be time.
So that bird there actually teaches you how to do a hyper dash, that thing we've been talking
Yeah.
about and doing the entire run. So like
Yeah, thanks,
the
Rick.
developers know about it. It's an intentional thing. And when you get through this far to the end of the game, you play through all the challenges. Then the game is like, but did you try moving like this? And it's like, everything is different.
Check out this hyper dash.
Such a cool strat.
But wait, there's map.
But wait.
Yeah,
late
falling
game.
down on a switch is a little faster as soon as you climb up that quicker. We'll give it one diagonal dash.
Ooh.
All right,
man.
so time is coming up.
Ha!
And time.
That's 128.03.
Teach, turn around.